Hey folks, Billy Sample here with Salem Harley-Davidson right here in Salem, Oregon. And I got to realizing this morning, I said, you know what? The model year is half over. As hard as that is to believe, the model year is half over. And I have not said much at all about one of my favorite bikes, the Road King Special with the new 114 cubic inch Milwaukee 8 motor in it. That's right, we put that 114 in case you hadn't heard. Put it in the touring bikes, all the special editions. We still have the 107, 114 goes in all the specials. Let's talk a little bit about that. Come closer. Take a look at the heart of the beast. Like I said, 114 cubic inches, high input there, high input air filter, air cleaner. 114 inches, that's over 1,800 cc's. This bike's putting out 123 foot-pounds of torque at 3,000 RPMs. That's moving. That's not just stoplight to stoplight. That's out on the highway at 3,000 RPMs is about what you're doing at cruising. You've got 2 plugs per head. That allows more fire, more power, more horsepower, more torque. I mean, everything. Runs cooler, it runs faster than any bike, any motor that we've made so far, any engine. Let me show you the front end. Dual disc brakes in the front. Floating rotors to protect against hitting a bump. You can't get rotor warping when you've got floating rotors. They contrast with it. 4-piston caliper brakes and ABS linked brakes too. The forks here. The forks, we started this about 3 years ago. This is called the double bending valve. There's 2 springs in here. When you hit a bump, one spring contracts and the other one expands to level the ride out quicker. See that right there? Looks like a big radiator. That's actually the oil cooler. Motors are getting bigger. They're gonna run a little hotter. Oil cooler right there is gonna help to keep the engine safe and keep it running cooler, which is gonna keep you running cooler also. Blacked out exhaust, blacked out cylinder heads on top of chrome. I mean, it's stylish. I know I use this word way too much, but this looks like it'd be hanging in a museum. Stretched saddlebags, and these saddlebags, they're not just for show. I mean, you could pack a lot of stuff in here. Easy open saddle lid, one finger. Those of you that remember how hard it used to be open saddlebags, now look at that. One finger and you got it. Tail lights, stop light, running light, and blinker, LED, all combined into one unit. Yeah, I took this left side saddlebag off because I wanted you to see a new feature here. Remember air shocks? Remember how air shocks were the greatest thing you'd ever heard of? We used them for 20 years, 30 years, I don't know. But do you remember about air shocks? What would go wrong with them? They'd leak down. You had to constantly, well, not constantly, but you had to frequently check it and you had to put a little bit more air in it. Some genius said, hey, let's go back to coil shocks. Now we don't have to worry about that. Well, what the heck? How about that? Heavy duty coil shock, and here's a nice other thing about it too. You got a little dial right here. All you have to do is dial up the strength and the firmness of your shocks. Who thought of it? 2 clips here, take some saddlebags off. Wow. What? Everything old is new again, and that's what we've done here. Just made it a heck of a lot better than we did before. Yeah, let's say this is the brains of the motorcycle, because this is what you're looking at. Everybody else is going to be looking at all that stuff we just showed you, but this is where you're going to be. Inside here, you've got a built-in RPM indicator. In other words, you've got a built-in tachometer. You've got a range indicator. It tells you how far you can go on the amount of fuel in the tank. You've got 2 trip meters, high beam, low beam indicator, walk-away security system. As soon as you walk away from this bike 10 or 15 feet, it goes active. Nobody can start the bike. You come back inside that circle, now you can start it up. You don't need the key to drive it. To start the bike, you do need the key to lock up the ignition, but all you do is just turn her on. Use the same key to lock your forks. You can lock your forks over in the left position, so you can lock your ignition, you can lock your forks, and the security system. Hey, if anybody wants this bike, it's gonna be really hard for them to do it. Cruise control is right here, right at your fingertips. All you do is push that in, it activates the cruise control, push it down, it goes green, and you're locked in at 72 or whatever miles per hour. Self-canceling turn signals, horn, high beam, low beam with a flasher. Over here you got your emergency flashers, if you can see that right up here. You used to hit both turn signals at the same time. Now you do this up here, just one bump and that's it. So there you go. Bike's got a little bit over 26-inch seat height. It's got a 19-inch front wheel. It's got an 18-inch rear wheel. Weighs a little over 800 pounds, full of gas. Gets about a little over 40 miles per gallon. This is a touring bike. This bike was made to go. You can also commute in it. I wouldn't mind it. So, come in. Take a test ride on this bike if you haven't ridden it. The 14-inch motor, the 6-speed transmission, the 6-gallon fuel tank, the security system, the ABS brakes, the adjustable shocks, the easy open saddlebags. What more could you ask for? Come on down to Salem Harley-Davidson. Check it out. See me or one of the other sales representatives here. We'll set you up for a test ride. And I hope I see you soon. Salem Harley-Davidson right here in Salem, Oregon.